And this is building your influential cross-platform brand. Yeah, that's a mouthful, and we are going big. We're going global. We're going cross-platforms, and we're going to be influential. We are influential. That's what this whole thing is about. And my very, very special guest, expert, Samantha Riley, has some awesome information that we're going to be sharing. She is an author. She's a speaker. She's a trainer. She's a coach. She does everything from start to finish with her clients to get them noticed and going across the globe. And if you've been with me any length of time, you know I'm all about getting on platforms across the globe, and you usually see me on camera, and we're going to be taking a little peek into it. And today we're using a different platform. I usually see me on Zoom or Facebook Live, you know. And so today we're doing GoToMeeting. It just goes to show you like every platform works, and it's really important for us to show up. So before we dive right into the training content, could you please let us know if you can hear me and you can see the screen clear, and just go ahead and put it in the chat there. Let us know. Okay. So are we good?
We're all good to go.
We are. Well, without further ado, that was the lovely voice of our lovely guest expert, Sam Riley. Sam, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Anne. I'm so excited. I love doing this stuff with you.
Oh, me too. Me too. You know, I just love that we both love this stuff so much. You know?
Absolutely.
So, Sam, I wanna like dive right in. You know, it's about branding. So I really want to kind of get into why you started branding in the first place, because you know we hear it all over the place, but I want to hear from the branding expert what made you get into branding.
I kind of fell into it, actually, as most entrepreneurs probably tell you the same thing. You know, we fall into things because we can see that there's, you know, a problem, or that we have a different viewpoint that maybe, you know, that we're really passionate about. So I've been in business for 25 years, and, you know, originally back in the 90s, you know, there was no internet, there was no social media. So the way that we showed up was a little bit different. We really only showed up locally, you know, with the people that were in our local area. But, you know, as the social media, as Facebook, the online world came to grow, I could see that branding was even more important than it used to be. And all of a sudden, we weren't just talking about branding as being a logo, as the colors, as the fonts, you know, on our sign at the front of our store. All of a sudden, branding was something that we needed to really embrace. It was, what is our unique message? What are people thinking about us? What, you know, how are we showing up? Which is exactly what you talk about, Anne. And you know, it took on such a huger, bigger, almost its own identity. You know, we need to have our own personal brand, and that's who we are. Where, you know, maybe 30, 40 years ago that wasn't as important. Maybe for people like Marilyn Monroe it was important, but now it's so important for every single one of us. So I could see how important it was, and I just completely fell into it and embraced it, because I love to draw out people's diamond factor, which is what I call branding, their diamond factor, their uniqueness, their special message.
Yeah, and well, I can't wait to start really digging into getting those facets of diamonds from you to share with our participants today. But you know, you're so spot on. This really is a global market. I mean, just the two of us. You know, this is. I was just thinking too as we were getting on. I'm in Los Angeles. You're in Sydney. And next month, I am traveling to Sydney to do my training there, and you're going to be at the same time traveling to LA to do your training here.
I know, crazy, right? But we do catch up together in Sydney, and I'm so, so excited to be in a room with you, Anne.
Yeah, same here, and I am so looking forward to just working with everybody at the same time because it's so important for us to know how to show up. And but the thing that just got me is that um, it doesn't make a difference how small we are. So the question here is that when is it too soon to think about branding?
It is never too soon to think about branding. It's something that, I mean, we've all heard the saying, and I can't remember who said it, that the best time to plant an oak tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. And that is exactly how I want people to think about their branding. And it's also something that even if you have started, it's some, you know, always think about it being fluid. It does change, and it should change, because as you change in your business, as you get more experience, you know, things will change. So you don't have to make a decision today, this is my brand, and stick with that for the next 10 years. Think about it as being something that's fluid.
Yeah, I, I was thinking, back as you're sharing this with us, when is it the right time? When I first started, my internal excuse was, well, I'm too little to focus on branding. I'm not big enough for it. And
Mm.
then as I started building all these different products and events and all that, it's like, oh my God, I don't have a fluid brand. So if I had started at that time, every one of them that I put into place, whether it's a program or training or video, whatever it may be, I could have been building on my brand rather than go back and say, oh my God, I got all these different colors, different things, different statements, different focus in all cross platforms because of all the different programs. So it's like it could have saved me a lot of heartache and frustration that
Yeah.
I'm kind of doing it now. So I am thrilled that we're doing this right now. So those of you who have been around a while, and if you've done what I've done, which is kind of let my branding scatter around, it's almost like having schizophrenia. So do you have branding schizophrenia? That's the question here. Who else is
Wow,
out
what
there
a
like me?
great what a great way to say it.
Well, that's what it feels like. So if you are like me and you're kind of saying, "Oh my God, I have to backtrack and figure out what my brand is," which is it's going back to asking the question, "Who am I?" and all that. So I can't wait for you to start walking us through the process. But why don't you put in the chat if you do have a branding schizophrenia? I'm kind of loving this. Okay, so.
This is good.
So if you are just starting, why don't you also put that in there in the chat? Because we want to know if you're just starting, oh my goodness, how lucky are you to be getting this information now? Love it, love it. So let's move on to talking a little bit about you. There is our lovely Sam. Oh my goodness, Samantha Riley. You wrote a book. And looking at your website, who you are, how you show up, your colors, and the feel of it. It does show up. So did you strategically design everything, or are you transitioning like some of us?
Oh, look, Anne, that's such a great question, because I do have to say, and this is something that, and especially Nan has just put in the chat box that she's fairly new, so this will help you, Nan, that when I first started off, it was a little bit scattered. So, you know, we got our logo, did the normal things that business owners think that branding is. Got our logo. We used to use different fonts all the time, different colors all the time. But I don't think that was wrong. I truly believe that exactly what you said, Anne, that you do need to get started, and you will start to fall into that over time. So yes, it is good to start to understand the fonts that we use, the colors we use, and we're going to be going through a lot of this today. But where I've landed now is not where I was even 2 years ago. So, you know, my brand is very fluid because I'm not the person I was 2 years ago. But it is good to have a starting point, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
And that's an important thing. I want everybody to really get what Sam just said. She is not where she was 2 years ago. So we're constantly evolving. So it's important for us, for our image, to keep up with the transformation within us. Is that right, Sam?
Yeah, totally. And, when I first started off coaching back in 2010, I specifically worked with startup business owners, helping them to start their businesses. Now I work with thought leaders, experts, coaches, consultants, speakers. It's a completely different client that I work with. So the brand and the way I show up needs to represent who I am and the people that I'm working with, rather than, back in 2010, startup business owners, that branding is a lot cleaner. It's a different message. It's a different look. So it's not just what you like and how it resonates with you, but it's your brand needs to speak and show up to the people that you're trying to get your message across to.
Fabulous. So, and I know we're going to be getting a lot further into it. So now that we've talked about Sam and who she is and got a little peek into how she thinks, and some of you don't know me, I'm Ann DeVere, and you've never heard of me probably, right? Well, oh my goodness, about 10 years ago, I had some amazing clients who had better products and services than some of the people on TV. So what I did was teamed up with my husband Michael, who's been in television, forever, and we actually created Access to Experts, where we would literally take my clients to Channel 6 in San Diego and rent a TV station on a Sunday afternoon and interview them on the news desk with one of the reporters at Channel 6. And that's what you see in a middle photo there. That's Alex Mondosin and Jodina St. John, who is hosting Access to Experts. So you may even recognize some of the other ones. And this is a little bit of information on my husband, Michael. He's been around forever. I mean, basically doing, producing, directing the 6 o'clock news, and, worked on numerous infomercials. He's an Emmy Award-winning video editor. So he's got the TV background. I have the business and marketing background. And Maura Sudden, she's a producer and casting agent. She works in traditional television on all kinds of TV shows and films. So what we have is a combination of all of our experiences put together, and that's what makes this really special, because we're not talking about let's get on Facebook, let's get here, let's get there. We're talking about showing our content across multiple platforms in a way that's showcasing who we are, using video in a really powerful way. So this is where the branding comes in. Huge. On video, it's huge. Television. I mean, look at all the different places that we are. And this is why Sam and I are really excited about putting this two together and bringing you the information that's collaborative effort over here. So Sam, you want to take over and share with everybody what we're going to be covering in today's training?
Absolutely. So first, what is a compelling brand? And, not just a brand, but something that's compelling, something that people want to lean in and feel more of. And how does that affect your business? How does it affect the clients that you attract? How does it affect your credibility? And most importantly, what happens if you don't get that right? Because that's just as important as making sure that you do get it right. We're going to cover off how to build an authority profile. So it's very, very, very important to position yourself so that people know, like, and trust you, and that you're top of mind and the go-to expert in your niche. We're going to discover your brand personality. This is something that I devised maybe about 12 months ago, and my clients are getting amazing results with this. And again, it's building that know, like, and trust, and starting to understand what it is that has people turning away from you, or maybe just even saying, there's something about that person. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. So we don't want that to be you. So we're going to really dive deep into your brand personality, and we're going to get all of that right so that we can maximize your exposure, leverage your time, build your audience, so that people think that you're everywhere, where you're actually not. You're just everywhere in their world. And when you do that, that's where you will build your authority, get more leads, make more money, and really grow your business.
Fabulous, exciting stuff. And I have my notepad ready to be taking notes as we go. So then I'm actually going to be sharing with you how to get your message out there. If you've noticed when you're watching a TV show, news show, anything like that, right off the bat, they grab your attention and make sure you stay until the end of the show to watch them. So how do they do that? You know, so I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to create your hook, like what to say in the first 3 seconds. It's crucial because we only have about 3 seconds to grab people's attention and keep it, you know, especially on social media, as fast as everything is moving nowadays. Okay, then we also want to identify the authentic on-camera style. This goes right in with what Sam was saying, the internal, like, you know, how do you show up? What is it about that somebody? Well, with the on-camera style, this is you're making a conscious decision what role you want to play. You know, so this it's a key component that makes people know what to expect from you. Okay, and I'm also going to share with you how to set up your portable studio for under $300. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek right now as to what I'm talking about. So right now, if you're watching this, I'm sharing my screen. I am sitting in my home studio. Literally, I'm using about $300 worth of equipment, and I can do some pretty cool things with it. Now, I'm sitting in front of a green screen. I am not in a TV station. It's basically an image. Actually, that's a photo of Channel 6 in San Diego that I took a photo while we were conducting interviews, and I'm using that photo now. So you can do something similar, and I will be showing you later on. So stick around. I'm going to share with you what it is I'm using. I mean, literally $300 worth of equipment, lights, camera, backdrop, and the software that can do some pretty cool things, and you're going to be seeing that. So we're going to go back to the presentation full screen mode, so we do not want to miss any of this fabulous information. There we go, full screen again. Okay, so Sam, you are on. What is it that we want? Go for it.
Absolutely. So what as business owners, what is it that we want so that we can really truly grow our brand? Most people will come out and say that they want media exposure. If I put a post on social media that says who wants some media exposure, I will get hundreds, literally hundreds of comments. They want to speak on bigger stages. A lot of people, we know now that in this time that speaking is so important, but we don't want to be speaking at a little mixer or a little networking event with only 10 or 20 people. We want to be speaking on the big stages and impacting hundreds and hundreds of people. We want to be speaking at other people's events so that we can leverage their audience. We want, I can't remember what else is there, and here we go. We want high-ticket clients.
That was your speed.
That's my Australian way, isn't it? Everyone says you speak so fast.
I was gauging the information you were sharing with the media exposure, with the guest speaking, and didn't quite fit, so I fell behind. There we go.
All good, all good. We want high-ticket clients. We don't want a client that well, we wouldn't say no to all of our clients, but we're going to be able to build a more sustainable business with high-end clients that stick around, that pay a higher amount than we're going to with it just, what I call onesie, twosie, the people that come in and give you $97 or $197 once, and you have to work so hard for that. We're not saying that you don't work hard with your high-ticket clients, but something that I've learned myself is your high-ticket clients are the ones that are going to get the most success because they're just in a different frame of mind. So they're the people that we want to be attracting, and we want all of that so that we can increase our audience, so that we can be more influential, so that we can create more impact, and so that we have more income. Because at the end of the day, and I'm sure you would agree, Anne, that income is freedom. When we've got more income, we've got more choices of how we spend our lives, rather than be, wondering what is it, where's the next, paycheck going to come from so I can pay the next bill. We don't want to be like that at all. We want this beautiful life of freedom that we're creating.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're somebody who is not really motivated a lot by money, think about all the things you can do, all the different organizations and people you can help by making the money. Okay, so just think about it, even if you're not worried and concerned about having a huge bank account. Because sometimes I hear people say, well, I'm not really concerned about money. I want to make a difference. Well, you can do both. So
Well, yeah, actually, can I just jump in there, Anne? I think that the people that say that haven't actually made the money yet. And as soon as they make the money and realize, exactly like you say, and realize how many people they can help, all of a sudden they want to make more money because they realize how much of an impact that they really can make.
exactly, because money does give freedom because we can buy whatever we want. You want to buy some clothes, you want to buy food for people, you want to, whatever you want to do, you can actually do. It's just giving them what they need. And money is the thing that's kind of, it's a currency. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So,
if you love children, I love children. I've got three beautiful kids, and I was a dance teacher for many, many years, surrounded by hundreds of kids, and I love being around kids. They make me laugh. They make me see things in a different way. I feel younger when I'm around them. No, I tell you, if you've got $1,000 and you can go into, I don't know in the US, but I'm sure you've got foundations like this, but here in Australia, it's the Starlight Foundation. Children that have got terminal diseases, and people go in and give them, life-changing experiences or once-in-a-lifetime experiences. You put your $1,000 there and watch the faces of those children and tell me that that isn't doing good in the world. Like, it changes, literally changes your life.
yeah, absolutely. Here we have the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's something very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, now whatever you decide you want to do, any one of these, maybe one, two, or even five of these things, whatever it is, just pick one at least to get started with, because what we're going to be sharing with you right now is going to enable you to do that thing. And whether you want a high-ticket client, or you want to speak on bigger stages, or you want media, whatever you want, what we're sharing with you is going to give you that. So why is your brand so important? So why is our brand so important, Sam?
Our brand is so, so important because, as I mentioned before, people buy from you if they know you, if they like you and trust you. And even if they don't know you personally, it's knowing, feeling like you know someone on social media. You can position yourself as the go-to expert. And I know that when I first started coaching, I didn't like that expert term. It made me feel really a little bit nervous, like, oh, I'm not an expert. But really, once I started to understand what it really meant, I was like, yeah, I'm totally an expert. And every single person is an expert in something. So it's discovering what that is.
Absolutely. And finding ways that you want to be seen as the go-to expert can vary. So if you don't want to be known as the expert, but be the go-to person. Okay, so if you have an evasion, so I love being known as the expert. It just says we're good at something that we do. So hopefully everybody's okay with it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So once you are the go-to expert, or you're positioning yourself there, obviously you'll gain increased visibility and exposure. The more visibility and exposure you have, it's quite simple. The more leads, the more clients you will get. And once you have a full book of clients, obviously you're able to charge higher fees because, someone that's got 2 clients will be positioned or, pricing themselves at a low price point. They're a little bit like, oh, I just want that next client. Someone like Richard Branson, I'll bet you anything, if you want an hour with him, it will be in the probably 5 or 6 figures. So the more visibility and exposure we have, the more we're positioned as the expert, the more we can charge.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's leverage it. Build our brand and leverage it.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of people, so when I talk about brand, we did touch on this, that it's that message, it's that persona, it's the way that we're showing up. Especially here in what we're talking about in video, but in all ways, in, showing up, whether we're on a podcast, being interviewed, being featured in the media, even on a Facebook Live. A lot of people are afraid to step into the spotlight until they're confident. However, when you step into the spotlight, that's when your confidence grows. So the time to step into the spotlight is right now, because you've been put on this earth to make an impact, to be influential. We're born into this time where we've got these amazing phones in our hand, where we can, you know, show ourselves up all over the world on video. Everyone in the world can see us. So you need to step out into the spotlight now so that your confidence will grow.
And see, this is very much one of the challenges people have when in media training. And as a matter of fact, one of the first exercises we do during our events is overcoming the resistance, overcoming the fear. And it can be gone instantly once you decide. I mean, of course, there are processes to go through, but, you know, now is the time. You know, don't wait to feel better about yourself to do this, like Sam was saying. And once you step up, how does that go, Sam? You know, once we decide, you know, to take action, the universe conspires to support us. Something along those lines.
Yeah, no, I think that's it, and it's so true. And another thing that I say to my clients, I say it to all of my clients, and I want to share it with you guys today because it is so important. You know, I always ask my clients when we start working, do you want to be famous? And 9 times out of 10, they will say no, okay? But if Oprah Winfrey didn't step up and do what she's doing right now, how many lives would she not have touched? You know, by her stepping up and being famous, she could touch so many lives. So instead of thinking about it as being famous, and, you know, a lot of us in this coaching, consulting, expert world, you know, will be, oh, you know, I'm not good enough to be up there and be famous. I don't want to do that. I just want to make a difference. But how much more of a difference can you make when your message reaches so much farther?
Well said. Oh, goodness.
So
what can we do to create an influential brand, Sam? What can we do? This is what I want to know. I got my pen ready. I got my pad ready. I'm taking notes, so go for it.
All right, so to create an influential brand, the very first thing you need to do is get very clear on your message. So the things that you need to get clear on in your message, you know, when people say get clear on your message, you're like, that's great, Sam, but what does that actually mean? Start to think about your talents. What is it that you're, what I call a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 in? And how are those, when they're put together, unique? So for me, I've got a background in dance. Instead of going, well, you know, I used to be a dancer and now I'm doing this thing, how can I bring that message all together? A lot of the metaphors that I use are from the dance world. I draw on those talents of being in that world and move them across to stage set. A lot of speakers don't think about the setting of their stage, the message that they're trying to create with the way that they look on the stage and the way that matches their message. So start to think about your talent. How does that come together to create your niche? So who is the type of people that we're speaking to, and how do we get that out into the world? So thinking about your talent and thinking about your experiences and bringing all of those things together so that you're very clear on your message. Instead of, you know, saying we can help everyone, it's very specific. What's your talent? What's your experience? Your values, you know, what's really important to you.
And Sam, you said something really important that plays a huge part in creating our video visuals as well. Bringing your background and, in your case, creating conversations around dance. So if you're bringing something about dance into the mix, we all know dance. We may not be really good dancers, but we have danced somehow, and we understand what dance is. So right away, we're connecting on an emotional level with something that we're familiar with, and that's something that makes us feel good at the same time. So being able to bring a visual story to the conversation is huge. It's an emotional trigger point.
Absolutely, and even more than that, Anne, like even a layer on top of that is people feel like they know me even more intimately because they know that dance is important to me and that is my background. And when I do talk about it, you know, if dance comes up somewhere else on a TV show or in another conversation somewhere, all of a sudden that triggers a memory and I become top of mind again. That's why it's really, really important to be quite, not an open book. You know, if I'm going to have a separate from my partner, for example, I'm not going to put that and plaster it all over social media. That's not part of my message. But my message is exactly like you said, it's dance. It's that I like to go out for a glass of wine. Everyone that follows me on social media knows that. You know, if we're ever having an event where we work hard and we go out and we have fun afterwards, all of these things are part of who makes me who I am. It gets woven very cleverly into my message, that is how to build a brand and how to leverage your business, but it also brings in that emotional connection where you are top of mind.
So Sam, I know that I ask my clients to kind of start a story folder. You know, just a file, and just jot down things from our past, you know, experiences, something, you know, growing up, something in school, something whatever. Does that play a part in, you know, putting together our brand, if you will, bringing in our past stories besides the dance?
Absolutely, and that's really cool that you mentioned that, Anne, because I didn't know that you did that with your clients. And guess what I do with my clients? We actually have a story planner where people jot down all of these experiences, because you can draw on these at different times, and create a story out of that to help other people move through a challenging time, to connect with you for a fun time, to take a learning. You know, stories are an excellent way to connect. So yeah, I do exactly the same thing with my clients. They have a story planner. I don't know what you call yours, and they do. And when you actually sit down and start to really get them on paper, it's amazing the things that come up that you may have forgotten about. And it's really, really really, I was going to say important, but that's not the right word. You know, that story is how we connect.
It's crucial. As a matter of fact, one of the stories that, you know, that has evolved, you know, so many aspects of my life and my clients. There's one story, what I learned from a camel driver in Egypt. How to market my business. That one story is a teaching experience in itself, and actually you're going to be able to witness that story when we're together in Sydney.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that one now. Now I'm going to be like, I want to hear about
it. We will. So let's get to it. Now we have more of the visual we have to bring in, and how important is it for us to have professional images?
All right, obviously it's here because it is absolutely crucial, and I know that I've put some before and after photos up here for later in the presentation, but professional images are absolutely crucial, because when people see you, they will make a decision in 3 seconds or less whether you're the person that they want to speak to, whether you're the person that they trust. So we need to make sure that we're building that trust right from the beginning, and whether we like it or not, those professional images are how we're going to make a decision of whether to listen to that person or move on. So it's not just the professional images, it's making sure that we're even wearing the right clothes. Now, I see a lot of people saying, you know, you should wear clothes that you're comfortable in. You know, if you don't want to wear for the males, there's a lot of talk about whether to wear a tie or not. People say, well, you know, you've got to be comfortable. I agree with that mostly, because you don't want to be on stage or in front of a camera uncomfortable and, you know, thinking about other things. But I wouldn't necessarily trust a high-end business coach if they were wearing some, you know, bohemian thing that looks 30 years old and it has tears in it, even though it might be really comfortable. So start to think about the way that people want to see you show up to build that trust.
Yeah, I love it, and I'm in full agreement, actually. And I just tell my people, look, dress the way you would when you're going to meet a very important client for the first time. How would you dress? Dress to impress, but at the same time, be yourself. Like if you're not a suit and tie kind of guy, don't wear suit and tie. Dress in business casual. Wear the, you know, make sure it's clean, pressed, and something that says who you are. Make a statement. So you're managing people's expectations. So I'm in full agreement with you. And by the way, thanks for the reminder. I need to go update my professional images.
And I'll be doing mine over there in LA too. Now there's something that's come out in Australia. In Australia, so I can only talk about the Australian market. But there's a lot of people that are presenting on stage with bare feet. It's a little bit viral. They're thinking that it's really cool. We're a lifestyle entrepreneur. We can do whatever we want. We don't need to wear shoes. You know what? I personally don't like it. It might be comfortable for them, but it's just proving that I'm not their ideal client, because I expect, out of respect, that you put on a pair of shoes before you come and speak to me. You know, there's no trust there. I don't trust that that person is an authority in their you know, business, in their topic, whatever it is that you want to say. So start to think about how other people are going to perceive you.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. And except, you know, since we have a global audience, I have to say that when I was in Singapore, you know, a few months ago, I mean, I was in a venue where I had to take off my shoes. So in that
that's
case,
a little bit different.
yeah, in that case, I'm just saying, so those of you who are like, you know, pressed to be, you know, wherever you are globally, what is suitable, do that. And I have to say, I felt quite uncomfortable presenting with no shoes on, because that's not what I'm used to doing. But, you know, and as, you know, as they say, when in Rome, I had to do what I had to do. But I'm in full agreement with you. I've seen that. And I was like, come on, really? Wear a pair of comfortable shoes. Wear slippers. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Okay,
all right. So
now on to video.
Absolutely, and you know, that's your thing, right, Anne? It's very, very, very important. This is how people are going to see us show up. When you're on video, you can't cover up. So if you don't know your topic, you will get seen. However, as experts in our field, when we understand our talent and our message, it'll be very easy to show up on video and show that we know what we're talking about. People will start to get to know us. They'll start to get to know our little quirks, the quirks that and I don't know if you will agree with this, Anne, a lot of people try and hide their quirks. I like to see those things with people, because that's how I feel that I get to know them.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. It makes us endearing, you know, our little intricacies and things like that. That's what stands out. So as a matter of fact, I tell my people, don't try to be perfect. Be yourself. Be authentic. The more ourselves we are, the more dynamic we are, the more our passion comes out on camera, and that's what really connects.
Totally. I've got a. When I was younger, all my teachers in the whole school knew me because I had quite a raucous laugh. I'm a very fun person. I love funny people. I always hang around funny people, because when people make me laugh, you know, I just love that. So anyway, I was all known, Sam and her laugh. Everyone knew that. And I went through this period of being really embarrassed by it, because it is quite raucous. But just recently I've learned to just embrace that. If people don't like my raucous laugh, they just won't be in my world. We were never going to connect anyway. So now I don't hide that. Now I totally embrace that. And the people that are meant to be in my world are the people that show up. And they're very fun people. The very, very serious people, they don't show up in my world, but that's okay, because we were never going to connect anyway if I'm not being myself. So don't just get your video on, and that's in all different ways, you know, like Facebook Live. Great way to get confidence and build confidence, just to jump on a Facebook Live and start chatting and be yourself.
Yeah, Sam, that's a great point you made. Now, here's the thing. I feel very strongly about this. We can actually go out there and get a client that we know is not a good fit for us. Our personality is not the same. Their style, like, for example, I can tell you that I'm more like, come on, let's get this done. I am not the hand-holding, oh, it's okay. Yeah, I will say, come on, it's okay. Go for it. You can do this. I will empower them. But I don't baby people, because, you know, that's not my style. So if somebody who needs a lot of, you know, they're going to call every day crying about something, is not going to get the comfort they're looking from me. They need to be working with somebody else whose style is more in line with who they are. So I really believe if we take on a client who we're not suited to be supporting, then we're doing them and ourselves a disservice, because they could be spending that time and effort and intentions and money with somebody else where they are going to get the results, and free up the space to fill it with somebody that we're supposed to serve.
Totally, and using our professional images and using video is the best way to actually show the world that side of us, because you're exactly right, Anne. Just yesterday on social media it came out, because people feel like they know me because of my style on video. I am exactly like you. This is the way we do it, and we just get on with it. And there was a lot of people that I've never met that made a comment in a Facebook group where I'd been commented, and they were saying about, she's straight to the point, she's a go-getter, this is what she does. They've never met me. That's all from the professional images that I've chosen that show exactly who I am, and by seeing me on video and the way I show up on video.
I love it. So the more we talk, the more I can see why we're working together.
We've said that before. I think we're like two peas in a pod, aren't we, Anne? with different accents.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get to the writing. Tell us about, why is a book important?
Okay, so hang on, just before that, we
the interview.
Get featured. So by someone else putting you in the spotlight, that actually positions you as the authority. So be featured on other people's video shows, web TV, or on TV. Be interviewed by podcasts hosts. Get featured in, like Huffington Post or Inc. or Forbes or any of those print, platforms. So start to understand who are the people that you can connect with, where they can feature you, because it's one thing to always be putting yourself out as the expert, but there's a completely different feel and a different change in balance when someone else features you. It actually positions you a lot higher. So that would be the fourth thing. And then the fifth thing, get writing. Exactly like you said, becoming an author automatically positions you as the expert in your niche. Once you've written a whole book about your talent, your niche, then automatically you've proven that you know what you're talking about.
Awesome. My God, so much good stuff. Okay, so now that we have the seeds planted, the importance of showing up who you are. Now, this is, as you're looking at this slide, I mean, there's social media TV channels, network TV channels. I mean, they are all looking for content. Think about this. Everybody can have a TV channel. You can have 100 TV channels on YouTube, really, anywhere. So everybody has a TV channel. So what's in short supply is quality content. So if you put together your profile, do all the things that Sam is saying, and create the videos and get the message together in a way that positions you as a go-to expert, you are going to be sought after. And I'm going to share with you some of what's happening, but there are thousands and thousands of TV channels who are looking for great content. And I know that networks are approaching me because of the way we're teaching people to show up as who they are, authentic and passionate, sharing what they have from their heart, at the same time being able to deliver the message in a way that impacts people's lives, delivering great content. Look at the content that Sam was sharing. Okay, it's about making a difference. So don't just get on and make a sale, because people aren't going to buy from you if they don't get that you're about them. So just follow what we're doing. I know this is what everybody's looking for on social media. To give you an example right here, being on social media, the young lady on the left side, her name is Midori Verity. She is a relationship coach. And about a year ago, she actually came and attended one of our two-day intensives. And she just really wanted to know how to interact with the camera in a more powerful way, because she was working with couples who are having challenges. challenges. So she didn't want to distract them by looking at the camera in the wrong way, or not connecting with them through the camera. You know, sometimes when you're watching TV, some people, it seems like they're jumping off the screen to grab your attention, and other times they're looking your way, but they're not connecting. It's knowing how to use the camera. So she wanted to know how to do that. Once I heard what she was doing, I said, you know what? You can do more with this. You know, share the content this way. You could create. I gave her some tips anyways, without getting into detail. She was like, oh my God, it sounds like too much trouble. I don't want to do a TV show. I'm like, you're already on social media. All you have to do is repackage what you're doing. She says, oh, I don't know. I'll think about it. Well, 7 months goes by. I don't hear from her. And then I get a phone call. She's like, Ann, I need your help. Like, well, what can I do? What do you need? She goes, I'm in negotiations with Paramount, and I don't know what to do. Why am I telling you this story? Well, she was literally on social media. When this happened, she was actually using Blab. She's in her house, and she teamed up with a young lady that was in her house, and they were literally sharing relationship information. And guess what happened? A producer from Paramount, as well as a lot of others, are online looking. So one of the Paramount producers caught the show. They saw how dynamic they are, and this is what's happening every day. They're out there looking for people who are already in motion. Rather than start from scratch, it's almost like, you know, looking at an audition video. So if you're out there loving what you're doing, sharing what you're doing, you're dynamic, and people can see it, they will approach you. People will ask you for interviews. And, you know, in this case, she's in negotiations with Paramount. How cool is that? And whether she takes it or not is irrelevant. But they wanted to showcase her, and that happens every day. And that's not the only thing. So when you're on social media, like Kyriakos basically wanted to know how to show up online, because he wanted to be interviewed on network television, because you need to be able to be succinct, to deliver great content, and be able to, at the same time, leverage it. You know, so how do you do that in like 3 to 6 minutes? Well, it's not that difficult actually once you know how to do it. But anyways, you can see he was being interviewed all over the place because of that. And Diane Wilkins actually is kind of from your neck of the woods. Well, not a little bit further. She's from New Zealand.
It's closer than LA.
Yeah, a lot closer than LA for sure. But anyway, she actually took the training, and she went back and contacted some of her clients and say, hey, I want to interview you once a month, and I'll give you the video. You can share it with your clients. And then she approached some people who she would like to have as clients, and she said, hey, I'd like to interview you on one of the tips once a month. And then she approached some people who she would like to have as referral partners. Same thing, I'd like to interview you. And it was all relevant to the people she's working with. And within a couple of weeks, she already had chosen 10 people, producing the videos and making money at the same time. A little bit later, I'll show you exactly what she did. She started making $2,000 a week after she got to go back home, basically. So, and it's not that difficult if you know how to do it. And if you want some more mind shifts here, Dr. Phil was sitting in his office doing what he's doing now until Oprah put him in front of the camera, or I should say put the cameras in front of him, and called it a TV show. He's still doing the same thing. So are you a coach? Are you working with people? Are you a personal trainer? What is it that you're doing? You can easily, if you know how to use some of the technology, you can actually, do that and leverage the social media that we have, and bringing into the fold all the things that Sammy's talking about. Who are you? Really going in there. Who do you want to be seen as? Who is it that you really want to connect with? When you start combining what Sammy's talking about, what technology is enabling us to do, oh my God, it's massive. And it's not just for experts. If you have products, think Dr. Oz. All he does is push product the entire time. Look at this screen, right? He's got products all over the place. How to eat healthy, this vitamin, that vitamin, that's all. So, think about this, Sam. This is all it is. They're pushing products and doing coaching.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you can do that. Now, here we go. So what is holding you back? Sam, go for it.
Well, I'd love you guys to put in the question box. What's the #1 thing that's holding your brand back right now? Pop it in the question box. I'd love to know. While you're typing that in, let's go through some different ideas of what it could be. It could be not using the same fonts or the same typeface across all platforms. So today we're talking about cross platforms. That's your social media, it's your TV, it's your books, it's everything else. Make sure that you're using the same fonts and typeface, the same colors. If I suddenly came out and started, it's funny, we've got a beautiful blue in the background here, but that's not a color that I use in my branding at all. I use blacks and whites and golds and red. They're my colors that I use. If I suddenly started putting on social media a little quote that was in this blue, people wouldn't just know. It's like, you know, there's a reason the Golden Arches or McDonald's has got the M in that color. Because if you saw it in green, it wouldn't even occur to you that that was McDonald's. Make sure that you're using the same headshots across all of your platforms. So this headshot that I've used here, that's the same one that I use on every single social media profile, whether I'm on Instagram, whether I'm on YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter. It's always the same picture because we want people to not have to think that, you know, straight away go, yep, that's us. Make sure that you're using, okay, so people learn in 4 different ways, or people get messages in 4 different ways. They're visual, auditory, kinesthetic, so the way that we feel, and auditory digital, the way that we think. And every single person on the planet has one of those which is the most prominent. So we need to make sure that when we're doing anything on social media in our web, are we creating the same visual messages? Are we creating the same auditory messages, the same kinesthetic and the same AD? You know, for an example, if there was a health coach that was all about meditation, and her auditory cues were, you know, waterfalls, you know, very soft speaking. That's the kind of thing that's trying to get her brand out there from the auditory perspective. If she suddenly started yelling at her audience, then straight away she's going to lose trust because they're going to turn away. They're going to shy away. If you've got someone who, you know, is the opposite, and they've got you know, their style of inspiring you or motivating you is to be yelling or being loud, then that has to be the same all the time. Otherwise, people are not going to trust you. So you need to make sure that those four cues, that you make sure that you touch on each of them. And I've never heard anyone say this in branding before, but this is what builds the trust, to make sure that we are evenly getting our message across to all of those different people.
Oh my goodness, I have to go back and check everything I have. And I hope everybody else is going to do the same thing too. I'm like, oh, am I congruent?
Oh, well, I'll make sure that I'll send you my worksheet, Anne.
For sure. I need to do the due diligence here, make sure. So let's see, what do we have? So since we're going to be authentic, and I'm going to share with you an easy way for you to figure out how would you be showing up on camera across platforms. What is your own camera style, if you will, right? So there are basically 4 categories. The reporter. Now, who is the reporter? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. If you're an outgoing person and you go to a lot of events and you're curious, you love to ask questions, you just love people, you are a natural reporter. You can actually leverage that. If you're going out to, let's say if you're a health and wellness expert, you go to a health and wellness expo, I bet you're asking all kinds of questions, going from booth to booth, and finding out about the different products, the latest that's come out. Well, if you had a camera and a mic in front of you, you are the perfect reporter. If you go to seminars, you can interview the speakers. So a reporter, all you have to do is basically ask questions, okay? And love, you have to listen and love people and ask questions. So the journalist, who is the journalist? Well, if you're a little bit more reserved and you love to share your thoughts, and if you're a special, you're an expert in one particular category and you're always posting about it, or maybe you're sharing about the latest book that you read, or the restaurant you just went to, taking pictures and talking about whether the food was good or bad or what you liked about it. Guess what? You are a food critic. You are a book critic. And the commentator, this is the one who actually shares the information. So if you'd like to evaluate things and give your thoughts, you're a natural critic, which we need desperately. And I always scour to, for the electronics information before I go to buy. The people that are online, given 2 stars or 5 stars, those are our natural critics. So you are a journalist. The commentator is the one who basically shares their knowledge. They will be doing short comments on whether it's their own programs, products, their thoughts, or they will be commenting on other people's thoughts and agreeing with them and adding a little bit more to it. So if you are online sharing other people's posts and videos and commenting on it, there you go. You're a commentator. I mean, how cool is this, right? So far we know journalist, reporter. Okay. Now the guest expert. If you love when somebody asks you a question, you love to share your knowledge. I am a natural guest expert. Ask me a question, I can train you for an hour with just one answer. So it's who are you? What do you love to do? So when somebody asks you a question, do you crave to give the information? So you could be a perfect guest expert. Find opportunities to be interviewed. And once you start getting on one and others see you in that role, they will be asking you for interviews. Happens all the time, and we're always looking. And of course, there is the show host. If you actually like doing all these things, you like asking questions, and you're sharing your own comments, and you're getting on with other people, getting on their shows and things, so you could be the perfect show host. The good news is that you can do all of them, or you can do 1 or 2 or 3 of them. So it's just start somewhere, and it's having a mind switch. Okay. Just having a mind switch. Call it what it is. Your own camera, call it a TV show, or you can call it a blog, you can call it a vlog, you can call it whatever you want, but basically you want to do that. So, of course, there's all kinds of ways of training on how to do this. We do media training and all that, but I'm going to tell you the easiest way for you to learn right now, walk away from here. Go watch reporters on TV and pay attention to how they are asking questions. Watch some of your favorite reporters. The same thing goes with a journalist. The commentators on TV. Go watch the food critics and the book critics and the movie critics. How are they talking about the products and services or the movies they just watched? See what they're doing, see what you like about them, and mimic what they're doing. Okay, and of course you'll have your own style. You can't help but do that. And share your knowledge like the experts on TV. There are a lot of opportunities. The guest experts are on news shows. They're on talk shows. So look at them. What are they doing? What do you like about them? So start paying attention. Use TV as your research platform. And again, the show host, and Sam brought up Oprah. What do we love about Oprah? Well, she actually is authentic. She's willing to be vulnerable. She pays close attention to her guests. She's very interested in what they're saying. And then she turns around and connects with the audience. She'll be in a deep conversation with her guests, and she'll turn to the audience. Don't you just love this? So she brings us in. She knows how to be the quintessential host. She is. That's what we love about her. So who are the show hosts that you like? Chances are you have the same traits, because we're attracted to others who are similar to our style. So Sam, are you the reporter, journalist, guest expert, or the show host?
Oh, see, I could fall into any of those, but I would, out of 3 and 4, I don't know, because I do love to talk about my expertise, so I do love 3, but I do love being the show host because I love Oprah and I love the feeling that I get, you know, someone being an amazing host and connecting with people. So I guess if there was one that I had to choose, it would be the show host.
I think you are too, because the show host actually brings in all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. There we go. And
You
my
chose
brain
the
is
right one. You chose the right one. So this is the part where I promised you that you're going to know how to bring in, grab people's attention, right? So before I just show you how to do the hook, this is one thing I want you to understand. Whether it's a TV interview or social media ads or social media posts, quick tips, whatever, it doesn't make any difference. If you have a message out there, it has 3 parts to it. The hook, to grab their attention. In traditional, marketing, in copywriting, it's called the headline. Okay, so this is stuff you're familiar with. The body, this is to educate and gain trust. This is where you share your knowledge. And the call to action, this is where you give a compelling reason to get the results you want. What is it that you are looking to do? Are you looking to share some information with people? Are you looking to get them to test a program? Are you looking to get them to buy a product? What is it that you're looking to do? Once you decide what you want the purpose of this particular video to be, then the call to action is designed to support that. I'm not going to go in depth with it, but the body portion of it, this is where you share with people some of the mistakes they made or misconceptions that they have and the things that they should know, okay? So those are the things. I'm not going to go in depth with that, but the one I'm going to make it really easy for you, the one that is really, really, really important is the hook. Okay, so to do that, I want you to go through the process, but get your pen and paper, write this out. Okay, so I want you to think of your ideal clients. Just one ideal client that you absolutely love, a group of clients, whatever. Think of your ideal clients. What do they say most often? What do you hear them say? What is the conversation that they're having, in their head? What's going on? What does that conversation look like? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and you can, easily see how that works. So somebody who's in health and wellness, for example, a doctor, a nurse, a chiropractor, anybody, might hear people say, I'm in constant pain. Okay? So that's what they're hearing them say. Now, how could you create a hook with that? Turn it into a question. Are you sick and tired of thinking I'm in constant pain? Are you sick and tired of being in constant pain? Okay? So somebody who is, let's say, in business growth and marketing, somebody who is in financial services, maybe financial planner, a CPA, a stockbroker, anything that has to do with growing money, might hear people say, all I ever do is work. I'm still broke, okay? So they turn around and say, have you been thinking all I ever do is work and I'm still broke? Well, it doesn't have to be that way, so we can change that today, ... Okay, so I'll give you another example that would be in the conversation what we're talking about right now. I want more exposure, but I don't know where to start. I hear this all the time. I'm on social media, I'm here, I'm there, I have more exposure, but I don't know what to do. I'm too confused. So the question would be, do you find yourself saying, I want more exposure, but I don't know where to start? And I bet you, Sam, this is kind of what you're hearing all the time, isn't it?
I hear this all day, every day.
Yeah. So, and all we have to do this is really understand who it is that we want to serve. And when we get in touch with their pain, we get in touch with their desire, we get in touch with their need, then it's easy for us to say, hey, I understand. Okay? The person who's in constant pain, when they hear somebody say, are you sick and tired of being in constant pain? I know what that feels like. Then they're going to grab their attention. Now, it's not going to grab the attention of somebody who's not in pain, obviously, which would not be the person they want in the first place. Okay, so this is where you want to start. So jot down some of the things they might be saying, and I hope gives you a really good start. But if this looks familiar to you, it should be, because every news story starts with this. Every interview starts with this. Every talk show starts with this. So familiar, put it in the chat. Is this making it really easy for you to be able to say, oh my God, now I know how to start my conversations? So put it in the chat if this is resonating with you.
It's resonating with Nan. Thank you so much for typing that in so quickly. She's written, this is awesome. And oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. There's someone here and I can't pronounce your name. I don't know how to say it. They've said, I need to know the hook. Totally. It's once you've got that, Anne, it's very easy to move forwards, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, and that's the key. It's not what you're shouting at them. It's really stepping back and saying, what is it that they really are looking for, and how can I help them? What is it that I really do that's going to make their life easier? And do I understand where they are? Once you start asking the question, instead of you shouting at them, I have this product, you have to have it, say, who is it that needs this product, and why do they need it? And all of a sudden, you just thought, oh my God, I have all these questions that I can be answering. It's amazing. So, but we're going to move on to something that I think is crucial, makes a huge difference. A lot of people think it's going to cost a lot of money to actually look professional online. Well, it does not. And if you take a look at this, the video up here on the upper right corner, that's kind of how everybody shows up. They turn on their laptops, and that's kind of what we see. We call those talking heads. And it doesn't take a lot, so it's not the size of the camera, it's not the equipment well, the equipment does have something to do, but it doesn't have to be expensive. You know, that's why if you look on the left side, this gentleman here is using a phone. He's literally using a phone, but instead of him being in the center with his head covering the whole thing, he's actually on the side. He's showing what's behind him. We can actually see a story behind him. So know how to use the frame of the camera. It doesn't, your mouth doesn't have to be the center point of the camera. Okay, so think about, you know, framing. Again, watch what other people are doing. Now, the one in the middle is actually, you know, I'm using the same camera that I'm using right now. We're doing a Google Hangouts, and same thing with whether it's Zoom or, you know, BeLive or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. It's literally, I'm using the same $300 worth of equipment, and doesn't that look like a TV show? You know? It doesn't have to be. It's how you use your equipment that makes a difference. And the one on the right, I was literally at an event, and it was Yannick Silver's event, and I happened to have one of my reporters with me that day, and we caught Yannick Silver. It's like, okay, open up my laptop, turn on my logo. And I grabbed 2 chairs from the lobby, put them across from each other, ran across the other side of the lobby, picked a plant, put it there, voila, I have my own talk show set. Okay? It doesn't take much to actually create a TV show. Interview people, share your knowledge, do whatever you want, just get on it. That's the thing. So again, it doesn't take much. And the thing to keep in mind, this is crucial. This is what's going to make you stand out from the rest. I've been talking too much, sorry. So I call it the gift shift. So if we focus on what it is that we love to do, if we focus on that gift that we have that impacts other people's world, what is that thing that you do? So I'll give you an example. I am passionate about being able to showcase people, give them the tools and the resources they need to be able to get themselves out there and go global. okay, in a way that positions them as the expert they are, in a way that they're able to express who they are so people get who they are. So when that happens, the people who are watching them will understand, oh, she has the answer I'm looking for. He has the answer I'm looking for. So they're able to then share the gift, the health and wellness expert, whether business expert, whoever. Once they connect with the people they're supposed to serve, then they're able to impact their lives. So if I can put, a health and wellness expert online, and they're able to share their knowledge in a way that impacts the lives of the people that are watching, and those people are feeling better, and their families are doing better, they're more active, maybe they're working more. So it has a ripple effect. I call it the gift shift. And I find that pretty much everybody that I attract, and I can speak for Sam on this too, is that we understand that we want to have a powerful business, we want to have a profitable business, but we also understand that we have a gift that we must share, and that's what makes it all work well. And this is where it turns into collaboration and the ripple effect. So I want you to think about this. What is your gift shift? What is it that you do with your heart and that makes a difference in people's lives? And if you were to use what Sam is teaching to really go in there and put your brand together in a way people recognize you right off the bat with the split-second visual, they're able to identify who you are. And with the tools and the resources that, that's available to us, from video to social media to all the apps and all the things that are at our fingertips, if you were to use all that and just get yourself out there in a big way, connect with the people that you're supposed to, what would happen? What would happen? Okay, so think about this. What will happen when thousands or even millions of people know who you are? What will happen? Half of the world's population, that's 3.5 billion people are online. 2 billion of them are on Facebook alone. So you can connect with thousands of them. What will happen when thousands of people know who you are? What will be the impact on their lives when they realize that you have the solution they've been looking for? Because we're constantly searching. We're searching for knowledge. We're searching for challenges that we have to get rid of them, or, we're constantly looking. So what will happen when people know that you have the solution they've been looking for? What will be the impact on your life? What happens when you have these fabulous clients that are coming to you? What happens when you make the money, the kind of money that that comes with it, working with clients you love? What will be the impact on your life? Just jot these things down, because this is what's going to fuel you to actually get out there with your fabulous brands and get out there with your fabulous self and go global and have global visibility. What will be the impact on your life? What will be the impact on the lives of the people that you love? Your family. What would you be doing? Maybe getting a bigger house, maybe spending more time with your kids, send them to college, and, just taking more time off for yourself, or just to be with your family, or maybe doing some of that volunteer work. What will be the impact on the people that you love? Because this is what's going to get you. This is what's going to bring out that fabulous brand of yours. And this is what's going to get you fuel to get out there in a big way and get in front of people. So how are we doing there, Sam?
Oh, we're getting some great comments through, and people are loving it. Loving it.
Oh.
Thanks for putting these comments in the box. This is such a good training. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. So this is where, okay, now that we got you figuring out you want to do this, what does it take to create a TV show and turn it into cash? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. So we want to make sure that you're preparing, okay? You have to first get ready, learning, learning is key. So all the things that you're learning about, how to put together your brand, the things that Sam has been sharing with you, things that I have been sharing with you, you need to prepare, okay? You need to get ready, prepare, and then you have to get on the set. You have to get the video going. Like it or not, video is here to stay. You're in show business. Like it or not, you're in show business. That's all there is to it. So learn how to use video. You have to use video, and you have to get paid. You need to have a plan for how you're going to monetize it. If you want to make an impact, you want to do all the things you want to do for your family, or in your community, or globally. You need to have a monetization plan. That's the world we live in. It takes money to make it go around. So what does it take? Well, that's what it takes, and it's very important for you to be using all three of them. If you don't use all three of them, you're going to have challenges. So you just go. Well, anyways, you're gonna have challenges. So what Sam and I have done is, like, right now in an hour we shared so much information with you, but what we've done, we've actually put together a 5-hour online intensive. It's a master class that it's in one day, 5 hours. Sam and I get together. We create your branding materials and walk through everything that you need to create your videos in a powerful way. So this is some of what we'll be talking about as we, identifying your own camera style. So we'll go actually deep into it, and of course the branding aspect of it. How do you put the two of them together? How do you merge your brand with your video? Where does it show up? How does it show up? And of course, the positioning, we'll go deeper into the reporter, journalist, guest expert, show host. What's the best one for you to choose? It has a lot to do with the expert level knowledge that you have, and it has to do with the time that you have available, because you have to be juggling right now. So where do you start? What's the best place to start? What's then second, third? If you want to be a show host, well, that's most time consuming. So what's the best place to start, and how do you get to it? Once you have a plan, all of a sudden it becomes doable. When in 3 months I'm going to go from reporter to show host, then you have a plan. Or you may decide, you know what, I kind of like being a reporter. But you will know what each one of them takes. Now, the other part that is very, very important, and I know Sam teaches quite a bit of this as well, so everything that Sam teaches and I teach, they're very in sync. That's why we love working together, because it's a complete fit. So one of the things I'm going to actually, kind of share with you right now that's going to have a huge impact, you can literally become the go-to expert in your niche in 30 days or less. Well, how does that work? I'll give you an example. So let's say a wedding planner actually goes into a new city, or they just, decide that they want to have a massive, explosion in their business, and just like go open up 2 or 3 more stores, whatever they want to do. So let's say the wedding planner starts, and so how do they become the go-to expert in their niche in 30 days or less? Well, let's take a look at what happens. Who supports that bride and groom from the moment they get engaged, or even before they get engaged, all the way to their wedding day and beyond? Well, the jeweler, of course. You need that engagement ring and the wedding ring, and the bridal shop to buy that dress, and of course the invitation vendor to send out the invitations for the engagement parties and the wedding parties and the bridal showers and all that, and a videographer and a photographer to capture those beautiful moments, and reception halls to have the parties, of course, the baker, the caterer, and the florist. All of these are part of it. You can't have a wedding without a cake and a caterer, the delicious food, and you can't have a wedding without flowers, of course. Limousine services, you got to go in style, and of course you need a travel agency to book that fabulous honeymoon, right? So think about this. If the wedding planner went to the #1 jeweler in a 50-mile radius and interviewed them, and then went to the #1 bridal shop in a 50-mile radius and interviewed them, you get the picture, videographer, photographer, all of a sudden they're going to have 12 or 15 fabulous interviews on how to plan your wedding, how to choose that perfect diamond, how to, which limousine services to use, well, how do you decide on your wedding flowers and all that stuff. So think about this. If they were to go to the #1 service provider into each one of those categories, do you think they would be perceived as the go-to expert, the go-to wedding planner in that 50-mile radius? What do you think? Good chance? Sam, what do you think?
100%. This is just the best way to build a business. Absolutely. This is positioning plus.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, Diane actually used some of this strategy to get out there in a really fast way. So blueprinting your show. So this is where identifying the format for your show. What do you want to do? You want to do interviews, and how does that work? And a lot of this is just doing a big part of it to make it really simple. It's taking what you're already doing on social media, the comments that you share and all of that can be turned into video. The information that you share, the quick tips, whatever, all of that can go into your video library. And once we go into that, your most profitable audience, which is basically the same as identifying your audience for your branding, your ideal clients, identifying your ideal guest experts, because when you have the right people you're doing interviews with, they bring their followers with them. And again, you see the wedding planner, you're getting it, I know you are. So, and crafting the message, well, there are 4 kinds of people that are watching you. And within each message, you have to actually answer why, what, how, and what if. You have to have that in there because those are 4 different personalities. So crafting your hook to grab their attention, build their confidence in you, and give a compelling reason to take the next indicated step. This is going to be crucial. This alone is going to transform everything that you're doing. Okay, huge. And of course, making the camera love you. How do you interact with the camera? Because if you're not feeling comfortable with the camera, you're not really going to do it until you get comfortable, as they say. But how you get comfortable is by starting to do it, like Sam was saying, right? You got to get out there. You have to do it. That's how you get better. So there are some things you can do to break through the mindsets. And as a matter of fact, there's an exercise that takes literally 12 minutes to do that has broken through all kinds of barriers like you would not believe. It's really powerful to do. So how do you connect with your viewers? This is why Midori wanted to learn how to do this, because she wanted to actually interact with them and dress for success. What does that mean? Sam touched on that, looking our best, but how do you decide, how to interact with the audience, the perception that they have? We see doctors on TV wearing their lab coats with a stethoscope. Oh, no, they're not about to work, on a patient there. They're not doing it. They're in a studio. But it's about using their doctor brand. It builds credibility. So these are all the things you need to know about. Sam and I are going to be sharing all this information with you. How does your brand fit in with the video so you're making that mega impact right away? When people are watching, the video opens, they know who you are and what you're doing. And of course, this is what I was showing you a minute ago, how you can have your own home studio for under $300. It includes lights, camera, backdrop, software, and actually you'll know how to do it, how easy it is. And let me see, this is basically the software that I'm using, the XSplit. Actually this here, let me go ahead and show you this one really cool thing that it does. I can actually, with the same software that I'm using, let me make it easier over here. So I can literally do some of the cool things that they do on TV, like the over the shoulder. Here, hold on a second. This is not, I'm going to move it over a little bit so you can see better. There we go. And, I can play a video. I can talk about some really cool things. Oh, let's see, fix the hair first. Oh, voila. Okay, and I know you don't hear the audio, it's been turned off so you can hear me. And I can actually go full screen with it so you can see, anything that we want to go close up on. We can play different videos, training videos, and we can actually play interview videos. So, and come back. So the good thing about this is that this particular software is like very inexpensive, and I have nothing to do with it, by the way. It's available, for free or for $59 a year. So you'll learn how to use this, where it's going to make it so much easier for you to actually be able to produce your own shows and look professional. And look at this. I can actually go into my living room from the studio, okay? Where do I want to be? I can go into my office. So these are things you're going to be able to do. So when people are asking you for an interview, you're going to look absolutely fabulous, okay? So we're going to go full screen again with the PowerPoint. Just wanted you to see what's available. And this is like it's mega training with this. So, okay, there we go. And, why would you want to have a separate camera? Well, most of the webcams that you have within your laptop, you can't control anything. And, with and I'll even tell you, it's Logitech webcams. They go anywhere from like $70 to a few $100s. Well, you can control what you do. Look at the difference between before and after. Okay, most people look like this on their laptop, and with adjusting the colors, that's what it looks like. Very, very important in looking professional. And finally, we'll be talking about turning your show into cash. I mean, even if you're just doing commentaries, that's a TV show. If you're interviewing people, that's a TV show. Okay, so let's just agree on the terminology. But when you're doing all this, well, you have to have a plan in place. So, we'll share with you the 7 key profit generators. So there are 7 ways to actually make money from everything that you do, depending on what you want to focus on. And then once you know what you want to do, how much money you want to make, and how you're going to be using all this, then you develop your marketing blueprint. And there's the co-op marketing. And I'll explain to you, in just a second. I'm going to give you a tip on that. And then you'll be able to know how to approach sponsors. There will be a lot of people who want to be showing up with you and be around you once they see you produce quality content, because we want to be around quality people, okay? Quality attracts quality. So as soon as you start getting your brand out there in a really powerful way, and you start presenting yourself when you feel confident because you look good, you're showing up powerful across all of your platforms. So there is a level of confidence that comes in, and then the mindset where you're making a huge difference. You're making a global difference because you're going to be able to reach people across, across the globe. So there is so much that can be done very easily. And so this is what I want to share with you. Basically, Diana used the co-op marketing idea when she approached the people, like some of her clients, and some people she wanted to have as affiliates, and some people she wanted to have as clients, she approached them and said, I want to interview you. You can see over here, I mean, she was petrified. She actually flew to Los Angeles to go through this, through the training, online training as well as offline. And so this is it. The first month when she went back, she just asked for each one of them for $200 for a 6-month commitment, and they all said yes. So 10 people, $200. A week later, she had a commitment for $2,000 a month. And all she did was say, look, I'm going to interview you and I will give you the videos. The second month, she was like, I want to charge a little bit more because I want to do some marketing. And they didn't blink. They all agreed to $350 a month. So second month, she went to like, 3,500, and she's already ready because we're launching the whole Global Visibility Initiative, the Global Visibility Network TV. She already has her plan in place to make over $10,000 a month. You think she's going to make it? Oh yeah, absolutely. So this is where Sam and I will be discussing all of this, online during the 5-hour master class. We'll be walking you through this whole thing, but not only you get that, but you also get a ticket to a 1-day intensive in-person media training wherever you are. So if you're in Australia, you can join me there on And Sam will actually be there on October 12th. We're going to be there. You can actually join us there to go through a one-day intensive. And if you're not in Australia, there's a schedule online where I'm actually doing Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Amsterdam, London, Los Angeles, of course, so you get that ticket, you can use it anywhere. And the cool thing about the one-day intensive is that everybody gets to be a guest expert. Everybody gets to be a show host because you learn how to interview and be interviewed. Everybody comes in with their cameras, whether it's an iPhone or any kind of camera, actually, it doesn't make a difference. The important part is that you're actually able to create your content, interact with people, you're able to craft your 3-minute message, so you're able to deliver it in a really powerful way and get feedback. That's the most important part. You get feedback. It's like driving a car. You can read about it, you can go take the written test, get the license, but until you get the permit, I should say, but until you get behind the wheel and start really practicing, you're not going to become a really good driver. Media training is the same thing. So get on camera right away, okay? When we say goodbye today, get on camera. And, yeah, so basically that's what we're doing. So if you're a speaker, author, coach, consultant, trainer, if you're doing seminars, webinars, coaching, training sessions, anything that you're doing, you can actually turn it into your web TV show and just Facebook Live alone. Just focusing on that alone, there's some amazing things that are going on. You can literally create individual segments on just Facebook Live. Hit live and give a 3-minute tip. Hit live and interview somebody. So you can do this very easily. Okay. Any questions? Sam, what do you think? I know there's some things you must be thinking about you want to add to.
Oh, absolutely. So in our intensive, we'll also be talking about how to leverage that show. We talked about cross-platforms. It's not just about creating the show. It's about how do we leverage that, keeping the same brand and leveraging it off cross-platforms.
Yeah. So all of this, and by the way, and we walk the walk, okay? We are passionate about getting this is part of the Global Visibility Initiative. It's about, we're like TV show for every expert. So, and you don't have to have your own TV show. You can be interviewed on other people's TV shows. You can be the reporter. You can be, the commentator, whatever you want to be. So as long as you're on a show of some sort, that's our mission. It's the Global Visibility Initiative. So that's how we're doing the trainings globally. We're doing it online. And Sam and I are going to be doing this. And again, online we'll be doing a 5-hour mastermind, a masterclass that's separate, and then you get a ticket for the one-day intensive. Now, hold on to your hat because this is going to shock you. All of this, it's only $197. So you get the 5-hour masterclass, and you join us for the one-day intensive, and it's totally experiential, and some additional bonuses, but we're just going to focus on it. It's only $197, and how you can do that is if you go to lightcammerainterview.com, lightcammerainterview.com, do /branding, okay, /branding dash the number 2. Okay, just put that there. It will take you to the page where you will see the information of what's there, the masterclass. You can actually register for it and get on the 5-hour masterclass. And then you can actually choose wherever you are across the globe, the dates, when Europe, US, Asia, Australia. Can't forget Australia, can we now? Okay. So you get to pick a date when you want to do the 1 hour. It's good for an entire year. So, and I'll be going, to the countries 2 or 3 times a year. So you have many opportunities. But definitely that's the bonus, really. The master class is the one that's going to have a huge, huge impact. So, any questions about this, Sam? Anybody asking questions or anything you want to add?
Look. I'm just going to, while people are typing their questions in the box, I'm just going to put the link in here for everyone so it's easier. Lights, camera, interview.
.com.
Branding.
Dash.
There we go. I've popped it in there, everyone, so that the link's in there.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that.
No worries at all. Just makes it easier so that we can all just concentrate on this awesome content that Anne's delivered today. It's been fantastic, Anne. And I can't wait till we do our training together.
Well, same to you. I was like, I love the way you make it very easy to understand, like, how to brand ourselves. Because a lot of people make it sound so woo-woo, or it's too complicated, too complex, and too technical, too whatever, and I just love the way you actually have the branding mechanism set, which is giving us permission to be ourselves.
Absolutely, and as thought leaders, the easier that we can make things that, and break things down and make it easier, the more people that we can impact. So, there's a lot of experts out there that make things so complicated, but let's not do that as thought leaders. Let's break it down exactly like Anne has. Make it super simple so that we can just get out there, get our message heard, create more impact, and grow our businesses.
Awesome. Okay, so everybody, again, the link is there. Go to lightscamerainterview.com/branding the number 2, and you'll be able to get a little bit more information and register. So looking forward to seeing all of you soon, whether online or in person. So Sam, you want to give us your parting thoughts?
Look, I totally love what you're doing, Anne. I think, as I said, using video is one of the 5 major components of building a brand, of getting our message out there. And, it's not just about building our business. It is about creating an impact and sharing our message, changing the lives of the people in our world. So I certainly look forward, like I said, I'll be there. I look forward to doing this with you, and I look forward to meeting the people that are on the call today. I love meeting new people. So, yeah, make sure when we're in Sydney or LA, I don't know that I'll be in Asia, but come say hi. I'd love to meet you.
Same here. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thanks, Anne.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much.